Hello and thank you for joining me. This is a tarot and oracle card reading from the 15th of December to the 21st of December. So we've just had our full moon. Our full moon is on the 15th and Mercury goes direct. It takes a little while for us to kind of stop feeling the effects of Mercury retrograde, but I hope that you've come through it understanding yourself a little bit better. And obviously this is the last full moon of 2024. So whatever you don't want to bring with you into 2025, now's an amazing time to let go of it. Let's see how that's reflected in the cards today and what messages they're bringing us as we move towards the end of the year. Okay, well, we have got Justice card. I'm immediately thinking here of the sword of justice and cutting ties, because that's something that we do when there's a full moon. You know, we let go of stuff. What I really love about this card is you can see that darker face is split in two and the new version of this person is coming out. And there's a kind of like a white light splitting. So there's the splitting this head here. So I feel like this is telling us we are constantly evolving. We're constantly growing. We're constantly becoming newer versions of ourselves. This kind of reminds me of a snake shedding its skin. When they need to shed their skin, that before it's very uncomfortable because they've outgrown what they're living in. And of course they shed their skin and they're able to grow further. We're all a little bit like that in our way. I would say around Christmas time, it is a time that we reflect and look back on our lives. So maybe you are recognising this new version of yourself that's come to light recently or over the last year, or maybe just over this retrograde period that we've had for the last 3 weeks or so. I love the fact as well, have a look at this card. I don't know how clearly you can see this. There's two staircases. This is leading to darkness, this one's leading to light, and the woman here is walking up towards the light. And I feel like that is a choice. We always have a choice, and that's what the Justice card is about, really. There's no grey areas with the Justice card. There's right and there's wrong, and yeah, it's a harsh card therefore, isn't it? It's knowing what's right and knowing what's wrong. And sometimes, even though the law does state that, it does feel very difficult to manage sometimes. But I do feel with this version here, this version of the Justice card, this is looking at your life and thinking, is this right for me? And if the answer's no, then it's wrong for you. And that is a difficult conversation to have with yourself, but sometimes the universe comes in and makes us ask that question because they're hoping that we are going to keep growing and evolving. And of course, if we don't do that, we get very stuck, don't we, and get very bogged down in energy that doesn't really help us at all. So an interesting message there, whether that's how you feel this year has been or how you're feeling now moving forward, and you're going to sort of live a very purposeful life, or a life that's in your in line with your life's purpose or who you really are. It's very much about stepping into your authentic self, which is interesting because we have Mars retrograde for a few months yet. It doesn't finish till February. And yeah, I think that's very much what the focus is there as well. So more retrograde energy as we move towards 2025. Let's see what other tarot card we get as well with that. Okay, that's a very common card to come out when we've got the Justice card, the Eight of Swords. Because like I say, the Justice card is very much about right or wrong. It's not about feelings, making allowances, circumstances. It's very much that kind of in our heads energy. And when we are faced with a choice, this is often the feeling that we get, isn't it? We look at the version of ourselves in the mirror and give ourselves a million reasons why we should stay where we are and not move on. And that is not really in line with this card, is it? Remember, when the major arcana cards come in, it's the universe telling us this is where you're at. When the minor cards come in, so the Swords, Wands, Cups, Pentacles, it's usually like what we're going to do about it. So there's every chance that you could be knowing that this is an opportunity for you and not taking it. And I think I've said this before, we have free will and choice. And sometimes we say, I can't change my circumstances. So that's still a choice. Inaction is still a choice. Choosing to stay where you are and never grow is a choice. And I feel that is what the Justice card is coming in. We always have a choice. And I just think sometimes we have a very good way of talking ourselves out of that, so that we can stay in that comfortable mindset or comfortable place that we're at. And that could be relationships, it could be a home, it could be a job, it could just be knowing that you need to change in some way, but you just keep talking yourself out of it. There's lots of ways we do it, but I do feel that Eight of Swords is coming in just to say there's an element of potential self-sabotage there, so don't waste this opportunity. Now I have Tanazi's beautiful Cosmic Astrology Oracle card. You may have come here because you've just read the full moon article that I write with Tanaz. I love doing those. So I'm looking forward to doing some more of those in the future in 2025. Forgot what year it was in then. But let's see what card comes out here, and what energies we're going to be working with the astrology. Eris, discord and strife. Well, I love these. Look, I'm moving it so you can see how lovely they are with the holographic energy. So I'm going to read from the book. I have to say I'm not an astrologer. I love astrology, but obviously I'm not as good as Tanaz is. So I'm going to read from her book. It is a dwarf planet after the goddess of discord and strife, known for disrupting the patriarchy, the status quo, and the highest leaders and laws. I feel like that's happening the world over at the moment, don't you? So this potentially could be like more of a global message about what's happening in the world. But you may recognise this in your own life too. Break free from generational traumas and karmic patterns. Eris urges us to connect with our feminine power, which can both create and destroy. She reminds us to stand up for our beliefs and to not be afraid of challenging the norms. This is exactly what we're getting with those cards, isn't it? Breaking free, Eight of Swords, you know, standing up for what's right, justice. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, as we tune into Eris's energy, we can become aware of where we need to shake things up in our own life to keep progressing forward. Oh, this is perfect, isn't it? Perfect pairing. If things are chaotic or you feel a sense of discord, this is a sign that Eris is challenging you to fuel your inner fire, take charge and grow in new directions. This card indicates it's time to step into your inner warrior and stand for what you believe in. Trust that any discord or strife is leading to a higher harmony. It's interesting about the warrior because justice is also linked to Athena. It's very much tied into the Justice card and the Eight of Swords card there as well, isn't it? Urging you to maybe create a little bit of chaos so that you can have some harmony. Maybe that's deciding not to cook Christmas dinner or not to go where you always go for Christmas dinner and do something a little bit different. It's time to shake it all up really, isn't it? I do think one thing the 20s has learned as the 2020s is that things have changed. Whoa, okay, that fell on the floor. So we need to change as well. Let's just pick up who we got there. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, and I love this because this ties in again with our messages. Canary Spirit. I've never seen this one before. Sing your own song. And look, wearing a little crown there. And it's lovely. It's number 12. I find that very interesting because justice is traditionally seen as card number 11. So I feel like, yeah, when you're making those decisions for yourself, I love this yellow, the confidence of this bird. Yellow for me does represent confidence. It's to do with our solar plexus chakra. So I always, when I see someone wearing yellow, I do sort of feel that confidence in them. coming out a little bit. I really love this. And do you know what? He's actually sitting on a flute. So I feel like there's a link there to creative talents as well. What do you like doing where you can just be yourself? Perhaps there's a new hobby coming in for you this year. Perhaps you'll get something for Christmas that is going to lead you in a different direction. Maybe it will be a musical instrument or a painting set, or I don't know, some sort of crafting. I think I'm learning this year something that I'd never realised before, how it's so important for us to have hobbies and things where our mind can switch off. The Eight of Swords reminds us, doesn't it, that actually we can very easily get caught up in our heads so much. But if you look at the contrast of this beautiful bird with as opposed to these crows flying around that person's head, I feel like this one is much more beneficial to us. So maybe, yeah, there's a thing there about finding your tribe and finding what it is that you love to sing about. Or maybe it is just singing, who knows? Okay, I'm going to pick 2 more cards because obviously this is for the week. I normally do 2 card tarot readings, but because this is for the week, I'm just going to pick a couple more. We've got, and I think this will speak for itself, beautiful, fertility, prepare for a new cycle. It's all about getting rid of what we don't need and moving forward. So yeah, that Justice card, again, because it's number 11, it is a new cycle. We've had the 10. We change our circumstances, we meet the Justice card, and we go through that new cycle as our authentic self. And I do think, as this one represents a pregnant woman, I do feel that signifies how people can massively change in an instant. Suddenly, once they've had a baby, they're a mother, their whole values change, their whole focus changes. And I feel that that's going to be offered to everybody, not necessarily as a pregnancy, but just as a change in your focus, changing what you want to do, changing what gives you joy. It's all there for the taking, I think, 2025. So these are very positive cards, but I do feel like those 2 cards at the beginning, the Justice and the Eight of Swords cards, are very much saying you've got to show up and be prepared to do this cycle. Otherwise, you're just going to be in the same old place this time next year, and I don't feel like that's going to be very helpful at all. So let's finish with an angel message. See what angels... Oh, I won't take 2, take 1. Athena, oh my goodness, that's so funny, because Justice card is Athena, the goddess Athena. Is that Greek mythology? Yeah, I think so. But yeah, how funny, getting it all over again. It is safe for you to be powerful. You know how to be powerful in a loving way that benefits others as well as yourself. So yeah, I mean, that's beautiful, and I think that ties in really nicely with that Justice card at the beginning. It's not about being cruel to be kind, but sometimes we inadvertently don't help ourselves or others by not being authentic, not standing up and saying what we truly believe. And it can let things fester, and it can let things go on quite a long time when they don't need to be. And I think this is about standing in your truth, and I think this is about really saying what it is in your world that you desire, or putting in very healthy boundaries around you to make the relationships in your life a little bit more healthier, perhaps. I do love the idea of the powerful. This is no time to be a shrinking violet. There is no time now for this I can't because attitude. This is I can, I will. So maybe that will be our mantra for the week. I can, I will. I hope that's helped you. I'll be back again next week with another reading to see us over the Christmas week. So I look forward to seeing you then and seeing what cards come up to help us through then. In the meantime, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.